Hi, welcome to Decoded. Most people think success is a straight line. You work hard, you build something, and you keep going up. That is the story we tell ourselves. But this man, one of the most recognized names on the planet, had everything stripped away in his 40s. Not slowly, all at once. We all know the headline version: SpaceX, Tesla, the most valuable car company in the world, a rocket company that put humans back in orbit from American soil. A man who seems from the outside like someone who was just born to win. But here's what Lex Fridman asked him in their most recent sit-down that stopped me cold. He asked about the loneliness, about the difficult childhood, about what all of it actually cost. And Elon Musk said something that almost nobody has replayed. He said, "There are many nights I sleep alone. I do not have to, but I do." That is not the answer of a man who has it all figured out. Stay with me, because I need to tell you about 2008. This is the part of the story that changes everything. In 2008, Elon Musk was 37 years old. He had already sold PayPal for $165 million. He had already founded SpaceX. He had already invested in Tesla. On paper, he was a success. In reality, he was watching everything he had built come apart at the same time. SpaceX had launched 3 rockets. 3 times the rocket failed. 3 times everything turned to debris over the Pacific Ocean. The company had money for one more attempt. That was it. One shot left. At the exact same time, Tesla was running out of cash. The 2008 financial crisis had dried up every funding source. No investor wanted to touch them. The company that was supposed to change how the world drives was days away from closing its doors forever. And on top of all of it, his marriage was ending. One man, 2 companies dying, a personal life in pieces, all at the same time. I have decoded hundreds of hours of podcasts at this point. And one pattern I keep coming back to in the stories of people who actually build something. The moment they almost stopped is always just before the moment everything turned. In this Lex Fridman interview, Elon described a moment with the SEC, the U.S. government regulatory body that came after him over a tweet. He had to decide, settle or fight. His CFO told him directly, "If you do not settle, the banks will suspend Tesla's lines of credit immediately, not in 6 months, that day." Elon described it like someone holding a gun to your child's head and demanding money. You are not choosing between right and wrong. You are choosing between 2 versions of losing and picking the one you can survive. He paid. He settled. He kept the company alive. And Tesla is now worth more than the next 10 car companies on the planet combined. But here is what most people miss when they hear that story. It is not really about the SEC. It is about what it means to be responsible for something that matters. Now I want to get to the part of the interview that I have not heard anyone talk about. The part about what he actually carries. When Lex asked him about the loneliness, Elon paused. He said he gets lonely sometimes, but his kids and his friends keep him company. And then he said, "It is not existential." Walter Isaacson, who wrote the authorized biography, referenced Elon's difficult childhood. Lex asked whether he had found forgiveness for what happened to him back then. And Elon said he tries to think about what is going to affect the future in a positive way, not what is fair, not what he deserved, what affects the future in a good way. That is not the answer of someone who has avoided pain. That is the answer of someone who has figured out what to do with it. He stopped letting the hard things point backwards. The 4th SpaceX launch happened in September 2008. The last money, the last chance. Everyone who had been there for the first 3 failures watching from the ground. It worked. 3 months later, SpaceX signed a $1.6 billion contract with NASA. 3 months after that, Tesla closed a critical funding round by the smallest possible margin and survived the crisis. The same person who had been watching 2 companies die simultaneously made it through. Not because it was guaranteed, but because he stayed in it one more attempt longer than any rational person would have. Here is what I took from decoding this interview. Everyone wants the result. Nobody talks about the year where 3 rockets fail and your marriage ends and the banks are threatening to cut you off and you are still showing up. Elon said he tries to focus on what affects the future in a good way. That reframe, from what is happening to me to what can I do about it, is the thing I have seen again and again in the people I have decoded on this channel. Most of us are not running rocket companies, but most of us have had a year where everything feels like it is failing at once. And the question is not whether it is hard. The question is whether you are going to be there for the 4th attempt. I decode podcasts like this one every week, so you do not have to sit through 3 hours to find the 3 minutes that actually matter. If this landed for you, subscribe. I post a new Decoded episode every week, and if you are somewhere in the middle of your own version of 2008 right now, I hope this helped. See you in the next one.